Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the John Campea Show here on my YouTube channel. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an honor and a privilege, as it is every day, to have you guys joining me here to talk about our favorite things in the world, movies and movie news and all that kind of stuff. And guys, we got a whole hell of a lot of stuff to talk about. Accusations that Ava DuVernay is saying she only got bad reviews because of racism. Speaking of Ava DuVernay, she's directing New Gods, a whole bunch of stuff. We got Spike Lee directing a new movie for Sony. Whole bunch of stuff going on. But before we get to any of that, let's go right off the top. And I think you guys know what it is we're going to be talking about here. The Avengers Infinity War trailer has dropped. The new trailer, the one that everybody's been screaming for, the one everybody's been asking every single day, where's the new trailer? Where's the new trailer? Where's the new trailer? It dropped this morning. It is here and now. Now, I got up at 6 o'clock this morning and I did a reaction. I don't normally do reactions. I normally just do trailer reviews, but everybody asked me to do a reaction. So I did a reaction video, put it up, and YouTube instantly blocked it. So I don't know why YouTube instantly blocked it, but it was like literally within 2 seconds that it uploaded, YouTube put a content strike. They didn't give me a content strike, but they just blocked the video for copyright infringement. I might have done something technically wrong in the video. I don't know if it was my fault. I don't know if it's YouTube just acting funny. I don't pretend to understand YouTube. So I will redo a review for it and put it up later. But since we're here, why don't we talk about this Infinity War trailer a little bit? Now, I'm not going to do a reaction or anything like that, but I mean, let's just take a look. I mean, the thing starting out with this whole revolving shots, that looks nice and everything like that. We get the team looking up into the sky. Now, here's the thing. There's a shot in the sky of something hurling down towards Earth, right? Now, didn't know, was that Thanos coming or whatever? A bunch of people on my Twitter is suggesting that might be Hulk. That might be Hulk actually falling back down to Earth, which is a possibility that I hadn't really considered before. Then we got Gamora giving the ominous threat that Thanos is coming and he could destroy half of the life in the universe just like that, which is good because yesterday, one of the things that I said that I hope they put in this trailer, that I really want them to see in this trailer, is give me an indication of Thanos' motivation. Let me understand why Thanos is such a big threat. Not just because he's powerful, but why is Thanos doing what he's doing? And this trailer gave me that. We hear Thanos in the trailer saying, hey, when I'm done, half of humanity will still be here and it's going to be in perfect balance. Like it's almost like an eco warrior, like kill half the life in the world to save the world sort of thing. That seems to kind of be his motivation. It was really cool to hear that. Maybe he thinks the entire universe is overpopulated. And that's why we hear Gamora saying he's always wanted to like kill half the life in the universe. And if he gets those Infinity Stones just like that, Thanos looking so badass and mean. This booster rocket shot on his feet, that looks amazing. I really dig that shot, give him that extra little oomph. So I don't know what's happening. Why is the ship that just came to Earth that everybody's freaked out about, now it's leaving and Iron Man seems to want to catch it down? Did it take somebody? Does it have vision? Who knows? Lots of different theories and stuff like that going on around there. Then we get the rundown of the various Infinity Stones that we see. We get our shots of Wakanda. Now this is a great shot here. We see Captain America coming up, and I think this is key. Captain America shaking hands with T'Challa like he hasn't seen him in a while. So Cap has been gone from Wakanda for a while. That's what I'm getting from a handshake. But also we see in the shot here, we see War Machine, we see Banner, we see Widow, we see Falcon, we see Vision, we see Scarlet Witch. So we see a whole bunch of them now showing up. All these characters that we've seen in the first trailer running in the battle. So we get them now arriving in Wakanda. Good shot of T'Challa. Then we see Shuri. Good to see her. Now here's my theory. I think this ship that the Guardians are... Okay, first of all, let's talk about this. This scene, this shot here, this is so Star-Lord. Okay, your plan's great, but it sucks. Now, I think I should come up with a plan. Great shot to put into the trailer. That's great. It just really captures... And it shows that, yes, the Guardians do show up on Earth or wherever Iron Man is right now. And they get a chance to hang out. And then we start to get glimpses pretty soon of the battlefield. What's going on? We see war starting. Nice shot of Rocket. Now, here's my theory here. I think, and I could be way wrong about this room that we see Thor in and a couple of the Guardians, I think this might be the remains of Thor's ship from the end of Thor Ragnarok. Because we remember, the Guardians find Thor floating in space. I think they go back and find his ship. Thor gets there and find it to just be a ruin. Maybe everybody's dead. I mean, I don't know, but clearly he's pissed off. Clearly Thor's pissed off here. and throwing the whole lightning thing. Now, this, I'm guessing, is Wakanda with some wreckage. There's a great shot of Thanos. But here's a question. Why does Thanos need a helmet? He's like the most powerful being in the galaxy. I understand safety first, but why does Thanos need a helmet? I'm not really totally clear on that. Now, here's another thing. I saw some people writing that, oh, did you see that shot where Baby Groot takes Thanos' hand? That ain't Baby Groot's hand. I think this is a flashback of when Thanos took over Gamora's world, and this is Thanos adopting Gamora. I think that's Gamora's hand. I think that's a baby Gamora. Yeah, because you see, it's a little girl. Clearly, he's taken over something. He's walking off in triumph, and he's claiming Gamora as his daughter. That's right. So I think this is a flashback scene, which is interesting that we're going to get the backstory of Gamora with Thanos. I think that's incredible. I think that's great. Now we see Thanos just dealing with Thor. Like just one hand crushing his head. They're really emphasizing the threat and the power level of Thanos in this trailer. This is also an interesting shot here, because here we have the Black Order, right? And Loki just standing there with him. Now, somebody's got a gun on him, but it's like, do they offer him an opportunity to come back into the fold? Because remember, Loki used to work for Thanos. Are they offering him a chance to work with him again? I don't know. They do have a gun on him, but they're not standing around him like they're guarding him too much. It's an interesting shot. We could theorize about that all day. And then, of course, he's got the Tesseract, again, showing off his power. I think he just crushes the Tesseract with one hand to bring out the stone. Boom. Then we get into some of the battle sequence stuff. Look at this. Reminds me a little bit of the Phantom Menace, right? Bringing up the shields. It almost looks like that a little bit. And we see all that. I don't know if it's Chitauri or something else coming and slamming into that shield, which looks amazing. We see a bunch of combat. We see, and this is amazing. Strange getting tortured. But remember back to Doctor Strange. His most traumatic thing is when he had all the pins in his hands and how horrific, and now he's going through, it looks like that exact same thing, being tortured at the hands of the Black Order. More of the big battle scene. This looks incredible. This is a really nice shot too when Thanos says to Iron Man, almost altruistically, I hope they remember you. Like I'm about to kill you, but you fought well. Maybe there's a sense of honor amongst Thanos here. Seems like he's about to wipe out Bruce. But this is the shot, okay? This is the shot. Thanos going at Captain America. Captain America stopping his hand. I'm like, oh my God, because Captain America is like my favorite. I was freaking out at this. Completely freaking out at this. This is the one thing, and notice he's only got 2 stones at that point. But I was just like, oh my God, it's like, we know Captain America is super strong, but like, is he in Wakanda? Did T'Challa come up with another herb to give Captain America, on top of the powers of Captain America, also the powers of Black Panther? I mean, I don't know. How he's stopping Thanos' fist is beyond me. But it looked awesome, and this was my freak out moment of the trailer. Absolutely. And even Thanos looks a little bit confused. Like, Thanos looks, so what's going on with Cap? Everybody knows Cap is my favorite Avenger. So I'm freaking out at this, right? I'm going a little bit crazy at this. So anyway, oh my God, that's such a shot. And then we get stuff. There's a really nice little comedy shot here, too, in a second, as we get into it. Okay, first of all, I hate, again, I'm not going to go into it, but I don't like the Spider-Man. I don't like the Iron Spider suit. But this whole little joke about, I'm Doctor Strange. Oh, we're using our superhero names. That was clever. That was cute. And then more big battle and action going up in the sky. We see Spider-Man zipping through all the wreckage in space. And oh my God, are you kidding me? Trailer was spectacular. Remember yesterday, again, I said that what I really wanted to see in this trailer was, give me some of the motivation of Thanos. They gave me that. I said, give us glimpses of some of the spectacular battle stuff we're going to see without giving away too much. They gave us that. And then they gave us more. I thought that Doctor Strange torture scene looked horrific. I mean, just terrifying. I think seeing Thanos just manhandle Thor, amazing. Of course, the shot of the trailer, Captain America stopping the glove on Thanos' hand, and even Thanos looking a little confused. What the hell is going on there? I can't wait. Dudes, I'm beside myself. I am completely beside myself with extreme excitement. This trailer was everything I was hoping it would be, because you guys knew I gave that small laundry list of what I wanted to see in it. We got that, and we got so much more. And I'm fascinated by getting some of the backstory of Thanos. and of course Gamora. That's got me. Now, we're going to talk more about this a little bit later in the show. I'm sure we're going to go to the live questions. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of you guys wanting to talk about this. I will extend today's show to make it a little bit longer than normal, and we'll talk about a whole bunch of stuff like that. All right, now before we get into all the main topics and come back and talk a little bit more about this Avengers Infinity War trailer, when you watch the John Campea Show, I want to make sure you guys are caught up to date with everything else going on in the world of movie news. So we've got this little segment that we call the Movie News Feed. Check this out, getting you caught up on everything going on. First up, it looks like the amazing director/writer team behind the Oscar-nominated Logan are back together again. It's being reported that James Mangold and Scott Frank, the director-writer team behind Logan, will reunite for the 20th Century Fox film The Force. The Force is an adaptation of Don Winslow's 2017 novel of the same name. The story revolves around a character named Deanie Malone, a New York Police Department officer leading an elite unit waging war on crime. After Malone and his crew steal millions of dollars following a huge heroin bust, the once good cop finds himself trying to survive while enemies on all sides close in. The last time these two collaborated, Frank and Mangold got an adapted screenplay nomination at the Oscars. I have been waiting for this one to get some movement for over a year since we first heard about the project. To me, it sounds amazing. Next up, it looks like a sequel to the surprise hit Happy Death Day is on the way. While this isn't official, there are several reports that Blumhouse plans to begin shooting the sequel as early as May 12th. These reports are consistent with Happy Death Day star Jessica Roth's comments that a follow-up film was in development. Roth previously said the following: "The sequel, the way the director described it to me, elevates the movie from being a horror movie, and I wouldn't even say it's just a horror movie because it's a horror, comedy, rom-com, drama, into a Back to the Future type of genre film where the sequel joins us right where we left off. It explains a lot of things in the first one that we didn't get explained, and it elevates everything. Whatever the plan is, count me as excited. I personally adored the first film, which honestly I thought was gonna suck, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do next." Next, according to the Russo brothers, the directors of Civil War and the upcoming Avengers Infinity War, they have an action scene that will outclass the incredible airport fight sequence from Captain America Civil War. When asked if they had something in Infinity War that could equal the airport scene, the brothers told Cinema Blend the following. Joe Russo stated, "We have an equivalent that's like, if you had a comic book and you open it up to your double panel and then you fold it out and then you folded it out again and again." Anthony Russo follows up by saying, "And you have another comic book laid out next to it." Joe Russo concludes, "So we have the equivalent of that in this movie." Talk about raising the expectations. Look, one can probably assume that they're referring to the battle in Wakanda that we've seen teased in a couple of the trailers, but either way, we'll find out for sure when Infinity War opens on April 27th. Next up, speaking of the MCU, Deadline is now reporting that Captain Marvel cast member DeWanda Wise has been forced to leave the film. Scheduling conflicts with her Netflix series, She's Gotta Have It, appear to be the underlying issue, say sources close to the production. She's Gotta Have It is based on Spike Lee's 1986 film and starring Wise as Nola Darling, was renewed for season 2 in January, just as Wise joined the cast for the Marvel picture. Talk about bad timing. Anyway, Captain Marvel is set to hit theaters on March 8th, 2019. Next, the trailer for the upcoming Shailene Woodley and Sam Claflin film Adrift has hit the web, and I gotta tell you, I think it looks absolutely incredible. Adrift is based on the incredible true story of two young adventurers whose chance encounter leads them first to love and then to a fight for survival. Setting off on the journey of a lifetime across the Pacific Ocean, Tammy Oldham, played by Woodley, and Richard Sharp, played by Claflin, are pushed to their limits as they sail directly into one of the most catastrophic storms in recorded history. In the aftermath of the storm, Tammy awakes to find Richard badly injured and their boat in ruins. With no hope for rescue, Tammy must find the strength and determination to save herself and the one man she has ever loved. Adrift is set to hit theaters on June 1st. Next up, according to Variety, Sopranos and Jungle Fever actress Annabella Sciorra has joined the cast for the upcoming second season of Netflix's series Luke Cage. Sciorra will play Rosalie Carbone, described as a dangerous downtown criminal underworld power player with an eye and an agenda towards Harlem. Luke Cage Season 2 will premiere on Netflix on June 22nd. And finally, according to reports, legendary director Ridley Scott is in talks to direct the long-talked-about film based on the graphic novel Queen and Country. Queen and Country is the story of an operative named Tara Chance in the British Secret Intelligence Service. Tara is a part of a group of 3 operatives preserving British intelligence on the international stage. Tara's identity is then compromised after an assassination. Now, you're all caught up, and that will do it for today's movie news feed. All right, now you are all caught up to date with everything going on in the world of movie news, still buzzing over the Avengers Infinity War trailer. I'm sure we're going to talk about that a little bit further down in the show as well. But for now, let's get to the main topics that you guys have emailed in to me. How do you email in a topic or a question to be on the John Campea Show? Simple, just email me anytime at john@thejohncampeashow.com. Put the word topic in the subject line and keep those emails to 90 words or less. Let's now get in to the first email topic of the day. And the first email topic today comes to us from Austin Farley, who writes, "Hey John, huge fan." Thank you so much, Austin. "I was wondering if you saw Ava DuVernay's comments about the negative reviews for Wrinkle in Time. She's claiming Caucasians of both genders gave the movie negative reviews because they did not get the point of the movie. I understand being upset about the negative reception of your project, but blaming the skin color of critics is a little too far in my opinion. What are your thoughts?" All right. Thanks a lot for the question, Austin. And you know what? When I got your email, that was the first I heard about it. And your email made me angry. I'm like, look, I'm an Ava DuVernay fan, but I am also a pasty white Caucasian film critic, and I gave Wrinkle in Time a negative review. I didn't think the film worked. Sorry, I didn't. I was looking forward to it. I love Ava DuVernay, but I didn't think the film worked. Okay. Whatever, fine. And when I read your emails, like, is she going around saying that the only reason people gave it a negative review is because they're white critics? And I was getting all like heated up, right? So I do some research, and sure enough, you start getting headlines around the place, like headlines like this one. "A Wrinkle in Time director, Ava DuVernay, uses racism to explain away bad reviews." And I'm like, oh my God, and I found a number of sites with those headlines, right? So I'm getting angry, and I'm getting ready to tear into Ava DuVernay for saying something like that. But then I dug into it a little bit more. You know what? She never said that. She never said that. Now look at this headline again. "A Wrinkle in Time director, Ava DuVernay, uses racism," and this is similar to a lot of other websites that ran this headline, "uses racism to explain away bad reviews." So I dug into it. I'm looking. It's like, I don't find anywhere that Ava DuVernay is saying that. Why are people running this headline? And it all comes back to a tweet where Ava DuVernay says nothing like that whatsoever. Instead, she's talking about, here it is. Look, here's the tweet that this is all about, okay? Here it is. Now, read the small one in the by Kyle Buchanan. Read that one first. Ignore the top part. Kyle Buchanan from Vulture. He writes, he tweeted out, "I talked to Ava DuVernay about one of the most subtle, resonant threads in A Wrinkle in Time, Meg's insecurity about her hair." Okay, so apparently I didn't know this because I'm a pasty white Caucasian dude. I'm unfamiliar with this, but apparently for a lot of young African-American women, they have insecurities about their hair. And apparently in the movie, when Storm Daniels is having, what's Storm's I can't remember Storm's last name, but anyway, her character feels insecure about her hair. It's a very subtle thing, but it's a minor little sub thing going on in the film, just a minor thing, right? And this one writer for Vulture picked up on that and pointed it out. So Ava DuVernay responds to it by saying, "Hey, you were the only Caucasian journalist of either gender to understand it and seriously ask me about it. Appreciate the chance and the sensitivity and the writing." So clearly, that's something that a lot of Caucasians like myself wouldn't understand that issue. I've never even heard of that issue. I never realized that was an issue before. Hey, look, I'm a little bit clueless. And so Ava DuVernay says to this Caucasian journalist, "You know what? You're the only Caucasian, male or female, who picked up on that. Thank you for picking up on that." That's all she said. She was giving a compliment to a guy that as a white dude, and most of us white dudes wouldn't resonate, we wouldn't understand this issue, as a white journalist of either gender, male or female, was the one guy who picked up on that and recognized it. From that tweet, you get racist assholes writing things like, "Wrinkle in Time director Ava DuVernay uses racism to explain away bad reviews." And I read that issue and it's like, nope, they are pointing to that tweet and taking that tweet from Ava DuVernay and saying Ava DuVernay is blaming racism for bad reviews. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You were the only Caucasian journalist of either gender to see it, the issue about the girl's hair, understand it, and seriously ask me about it. Appreciate the chat, the sensitivity, and the writing. That had nothing to do with Ava DuVernay blaming racism for bad reviews of A Wrinkle in Time. That is such bullshit. I cannot believe whatever hack, backwards, buttfuck, website that is, and all the other ones like it running that headline should be freaking ashamed of themselves. She said nothing even remotely close to this. She uses racism to explain her bad reviews. This tweet is her using racism to explain bad reviews. It is not even close. And it's stuff like this that pisses me off. And hey, man, I don't blame you for asking the question because you saw the headlines. And you're like, oh my God, yeah. And so you're writing me the question. This is not bad on you. You're just asking the question. I'm glad you're asking the question. But this is why I always tell people, dig. When you read these headlines, dig into it. Really read up on it. Because that's what I saw the headlines and I got angry too. But then I dug and I'm realizing she never said anything remotely similar to what that headline was reading. Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely. It's like there are some people out there who, whenever somebody who's not a male white dude, if some female director or some black director, or heaven forbid, some black female director starts to have some success, we got to try to find a way to hammer them down. Like, this is just ridiculous. Like, I cannot believe that. This is like, quote unquote, journalism at its absolute worst. Anyway, I'm going to move on from that. I'm sure you guys have your own theories about that as well. Let's move on to question number 2, shall we? And question number 2 comes to us from Angel Ahuatzi, who writes, John, does a pre-order ticket sale hurt a movie before it's released? For example, Tomb Raider is going to be released this Friday, but there is a rumor, well, it's a fact now because we're here, there's a rumor going around that Avengers Infinity War will also start their pre-order ticket sales the same Friday. Will that hurt the box office for Tomb Raider? So yeah, and it's true, it is Friday now. Tickets for Avengers Infinity War are now on sale, and you can get those now. It's an interesting question. Could the pre-order tickets availability of Avengers Infinity War, could that hurt the box office for something like a movie that is opening up this weekend, like a Tomb Raider? Honestly, I could totally see why you're asking the question. I don't think so. Like, I've never pre-ordered a ticket and thought, oh gosh, well now I can't go to a movie tonight. No, because I just bought a ticket for a movie that's coming out in like 6 weeks. Like 6 weeks from now. So are there some people who will go, hey, look, I got $50 that I can spend this week. And I'm going to pre-order my tickets for Infinity War. I'm spending my money on that, so I don't have money to go to the movies tonight. Absolutely. But I don't think that's going to be a huge chunk or a significant chunk or even a chunk really worth talking about of being detrimental to the ticket sales of movies coming out on the same weekend. I don't think we're going to see that in any real way. I don't think we're going to see that hurt Tomb Raider. I think it'll be just fine. And not a bad little video game movie. If you haven't seen my review for Tomb Raider, go check it out. Not a bad little video game movie. All right, let's move on now to the third question, talking about comic book movies. And speaking about Ava DuVernay, Tyler Beck writes, hey, John, love the show. Thank you so much, Tyler. So I just heard Ava DuVernay is in talks to helm DC's New Gods. What are your thoughts on this? We all know you want a reboot, but clearly that isn't Warner Brothers' plans. Full steam ahead with the epic Jack Kirbiness. Bring the extra big Barda/Granny goodness, sweaty, filthy. All right, thanks a lot. And for those of you guys who did not hear, the reports went out yesterday that Ava DuVernay is close to signing on with Warner Brothers to direct a big feature film version of the DC characters, the New Gods. Of course, Darkseid is one of the New Gods. Now, but it's interesting you're saying, hey, this clearly shows they're not rebooting. Interesting thing that's also in those reports is that this New Gods movie, like the Martin Scorsese produced Joker movie, the reports are that it's not going to be connected to the DCEU in any way. So it's going to sit outside of the DCEU. Yet another film they're doing that has nothing to do with the DCEU. That's interesting. Now, not everybody knows a whole ton about the New Gods. Hell, I know who the New Gods are, but I don't know a lot about them. So I thought I would reach out to the buddy I know who knows more about the DC world than anybody else. He is, of course, the former host of DC All Access. Our buddy, my friend and yours, Jason Inman, to talk a little bit about this whole thing about a New Gods movie and Ava DuVernay. Check out this conversation. Okay, Jason, so the news goes out today. Ava DuVernay is going to be directing New Gods, and the question shouted across the hillside is, what the hell are the New Gods? Like, a lot of people know who the Justice League are. They know who's Superman. Who are the New Gods?
Well, basically, you've already had a slight introduction in the movies to the New Gods because Steppenwolf is a New Gods fourth world character. Basically, let's back the heck up. The New Gods are this concept of several different comic book series invented by Jack Kirby, the man who invented Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, Avengers, all those Marvel characters. When he came over to DC, he created this entire universe called the Fourth World. Basically, it's about the conflict between this world called New Genesis, which is a representation of heaven, and Apocalypse, which is a representation of hell. Now, a lot of people know Apocalypse, especially from the Injustice games and the Justice League cartoon, because Apocalypse is ran and ruled by Darkseid, who a lot of people thought was going to be the main villain of Justice League. But essentially, it's this crazy cosmic 70s acid version of the ultimate representation of good and evil.
All right, now we have seen two major films from director Ava DuVernay at this point. The highly acclaimed Selma, for very good reason, magnificent film, and the not as much acclaimed Wrinkle in Time. I'll admit I didn't really enjoy that film that much. So understanding that, having seen the film she's done and understanding the New Gods like you do, how do you feel about the announcement of her directing a New Gods film?
Well, to be honest with you, I actually think she's a great choice for this property because the New Gods are as insane as a book is like Wrinkle in Time. It is a very heady concept. And to be honest with you, it's going to be a very difficult movie to make movie-going audiences understand in less than 2 hours. Plus, I think Selma is a good choice for this. The director of Selma is a good choice for this movie because that's a deep character drama. And if you're going to make a concept like the New Gods work, you're really going to have to give us some amazing characters. So I actually think she's a perfect choice for this.
Okay, now one of the more interesting things that's been mentioned in these reports about her taking over New Gods is this almost seemingly thrown away line in a lot of these reports that, oh, and by the way, this isn't going to be part of the DCEU. So, okay, so this becomes like the second major project that we're hearing that is not going to be part of the DCU. Like whether it's the Martin Scorsese produced Joker film, they're saying is going to have nothing to do with the DCU. We got New Gods. What does this report, if true, do to your like current understanding of where things sit right now with the DCEU?
Saying that this film is not a part of the DCEU, especially since we have had hints and mentions of the New Gods. Steppenwolf says New Gods and Darkseid in Justice League.
Yep.
This tells me that the DCEU, I think as we know it, might be dead, and that we might be proceeding into a universe where every single film has its own continuity. And, you know, maybe that's a good thing for the DCEU. I don't know, but to be honest with you, this really kind of scares me. And again, it really hints at this idea that I don't think they have any idea what's going on over there, because I would totally buy it. I would totally buy a New Gods movie based off of the, you know, sort of the representation of that world that we got in Justice League. Right. Mother boxes are a very important part of the New Gods mythology. So it's going to be hard for me as a moviegoer to ignore all that Justice League New Gods stuff when you're giving me brand new Gods stuff.
And, you know, the suggestion that maybe this could be indicating that the DCU is moving away, or that Warner Brothers is moving away from the DCU, that, of course, raises questions like, well, what happens to Wonder Woman 2? What do you do with Aquaman? But I guess those are going to be topics for another time. Jason, thanks a lot for talking New Gods with us. Where can people find you online if they're looking for you?
Just click on your social media mother box and go find me at Jawin, Jawin.
And just a quick more thing, your comic book, tell people a little bit about your comic book and where they can find it.
Yeah, you can find my comic book in comic book stores everywhere. It's called Jupiter Jet and on Comixology digitally. Issue 4 just came out. It's about a 16-year-old girl with a jetpack. So if that sounds up your alley, then head on over to your local comic book store.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jason.
Thanks, John.
All right, special thanks to Jason Inman for joining us here. I love Jason. Don't you guys love Jason? He's so informative, knows his stuff. But yeah, man, I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff. It's very exciting on one hand that, hey, they're going to do New Gods. Oh, wait, It's yet another thing that's going to be outside of the DCEU. What is going on with the DCEU? The question marks are flying. Just people don't know what the heck is going on with all that. All right, guys, we've come to that part of the show now for your live questions. Now, I usually would be ending the show today in about 10 minutes. But I'm going to stretch today's shows out a little bit because I know it's Avengers Infinity War trailer day, damn it. And I know a whole bunch of you guys are going to be asking some questions in here and some comments about Avengers Infinity War. So let's go to your questions now. We'll do a little bit of an extended show today. And we go to the first one, comes to us from Rex Cousins. And Rex Cousins writes, my local Regal is putting in IMAX and Avengers will be their first IMAX showing. Guess who just bought the first tickets? Keep up the great work. And you know what? I myself, even though I'm probably going to see Infinity War, I think twice before the movie opens, I still jumped on there today, bought my tickets for the first Thursday night screening of Avengers Infinity War. I'm excited. You're excited. Let's see if the ticket sale things crash again. I don't think the ticket sales sites will crash today because they learned their lesson from The Force Awakens, and I think they'll be better prepared for it. But a whole hell of a lot of people are going to be buying their Infinity War tickets today. I guarantee you that. All right. Next one comes to us from Curtis Lopez, says, bet you're not a fan of the new Infinity War poster. Yeah, I got a glimpse of it. I'm not big on it. I don't hate it, but it's just like, let's put every single face there is possibly on the poster. I'm not a big fan of that style. Everybody knows that. The movie's going to be amazing. Can't wait for the movie. Not super thrilled with the poster. Jordan Benjamin writes, just seen the Infinity War trailer, amazing. Do you think Marvel would have been better off giving us more nuggets of Thanos before Infinity War to create more fear of him? I don't know. I think they've done a pretty good job. Look, because here's the thing. This has been going on for, years. Years and years and years and years. Ever since the first Avengers film came out, we've been getting teases of Thanos. So if you were to give us too much Thanos along the way, it would have just felt dragged out, I think. And we would have been, come on, like looking at our watches. Okay, we get it. There's this Thanos guy. We get it. When are we actually getting something of him significant? And I think it might have been detrimental for them to do it. But instead, they give us just little brief glimpses. And if you want the audience to feel more fear of him, this trailer did it. Manhandling Thor with one hand, crushing the Tesseract, if that is the Tesseract that he crushed, with his bare hands. All the stuff about Gamora saying he'll be able to wipe out half the universe like that, everybody being afraid of him. I think the trailer did a good job on its own of doing that. I have a feeling if they showed us too much Thanos throughout the last 6-7 years, I think it might have had the opposite effect. I think it might have made everybody impatient about it. So I think they handled him right. Next one comes to us from Anthony Ashmask, who writes, that trailer, though, Cap holding back Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet gave me a seizure. And when baby Gamora holds Thanos' finger, Star-Lord meeting Tony, no kidding, right? There are so many. Like, I was watching that trailer, and obviously, to me, the shot of the trailer is Captain America holding back Thanos' hand. But before that happened, there were like 6 or 7. Oh, this is going to be the best moment of the trailer. Oh, no. This is the best moment of the trailer. No. This trailer is a trailer of highlights. It's like an NFL football game highlight reel. Boom. So well done. So well put together. All right. Jordan Benjamin writes, Kylo destroyed his helmet in The Last Jedi. Does this mean that Rey's Force vision from The Force Awakens isn't a flash forward seeing the Knights of Ren in Episode 9? Thoughts? No, it could be, it couldn't be. I wouldn't read too much into it because he can clearly just remake a new helmet, right? He's done it, I believe. So he can remake a new helmet. So I really wouldn't read anything into that one way or the other, pro or con. I really don't think it means anything that much at all. Good observation, Jordan. Very good observation. But I don't think there's too much to read into that. Amin writes, I'm in a hall at university and I can hear someone playing the trailer loudly through their laptop. I guess everyone is getting hyped. Man, I'm telling you what, I talked to my wife this morning who was coming back from the gym, and she said driving back home this morning, even at like 7 a.m, she could see people standing on the sidewalk and think everybody's looking at their phones. And it's like, yeah, the trailer must have dropped and everybody's watching their trailers. Like, it's a global phenomenon at this point. All right, Anthony Ashmask writes, man, how epic was that tag? Peter and Strange. Oh, we're using our made up names. Then I'm Spider-Man, Spidey web slinging. Yeah, the web slinging stuff looked great. Now, I still think the best Spidey web slinging stuff we've ever got was actually in The Amazing Spider-Man. but that looked really great in the trailer. This could be the Spidey web slinging that could outdo the web slinging we saw in The Amazing Spider-Man. And it was a good, funny little tag there as well. Let's see. Mason Barr writes, Peter, Doctor Strange convo in the new trailer. I know, that was great, right? It reminds me of, remember the villain in Doctor Strange saying, Doctor, whatever his name is, you know they're always going to play on that wordplay of Doctor Strange. I thought that was very clever and very cute. All right, Sujith writes, level excitement I felt seeing Cap in the Infinity War trailer. Something about him makes you want to cheer for him every time he's on screen. Can't wait. He is simply my favorite person in the MCU. The way they have handled the Captain America Captain America character to me is amazing. He is by far my favorite character in the MCU. For numbers of different reasons. And yeah, that shot, man. I'm just going to be spazzing out about this shot like all day. Okay, Daryl Best Wadley writes, why did Disney copyright you and no one else? Well, actually, Disney, for those of you who missed the beginning, I put up a reaction. I don't normally do reactions, but I put up a reaction earlier this morning to the trailer. However, within 2 seconds, the YouTube algorithm blocked it. And so it wasn't a Disney thing. It was a YouTube thing. What I did, or what YouTube does, I've never been able to understand YouTube and why sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. I don't get it. But it wasn't Disney. It was YouTube that did it, and I don't know why. Let's see. The Last of the Time Lords writes, what are your thoughts on the movie I, Robot with Will Smith? I love this movie. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. And do you think we'll ever get a sequel? I don't think we're ever going to get a sequel, no. But I didn't mind the movie. I didn't trip over myself loving it, but I thought it was pretty good. I thought Will Smith... I mean, look, Will Smith is a great action star. He's also just a great actor, too, but he's also a really good action star. And I got a kick out of it. I thought it had its flaws. I thought it had some pacing issues, but I like the film. I do, but I don't think we're ever going to see a sequel for it. Jordan Benjamin writes, Cap's getting some of that Wakanda juice for sure. I mean, that's my theory, right? Like, is he pumping up on the T'Challa steroid of whatever the name of that plant is? The one that we thought Killmonger had all burned? Was there 1 or 2 extra still sitting around? I mean, does maybe he have Vision's Infinity Stone? Because remember, we see in the glove there's only 2 stones, and one of them isn't yellow. Did maybe Cap take it out of Thanos and swallow it? Now he's got some Infinity Stone juice. He shouldn't be able to do that. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but it did what a trailer should do. It answered some questions, and it raised some questions. Like, how the hell is Cap holding back Thanos? I'm dying to know. You can tell I'm freaking out a bit here. Johnny Meha writes, got 3 tickets for Saturday night at AMC Prime. Oh my God, I'm envious. The AMC Prime is definitely the place to go see this thing. 3 tickets, good choice. I actually bought 4 because I bought one for me and Ann, and then I know I'm going to have a couple of friends that are going to want to go too. Good to have those on hand, so I bought 4 of them myself. Let's see. The Last of the Time Lords writes, thoughts on sci-fi horror movie Pandorum? You know what? I can't remember it off the top of my head. I probably saw it. I just can't remember it. Let's see. Anthony writes, I hope they remember you. The stakes for this film are off the charts, coupled with the buildup of 10 years, and the visuals are a feast for the eyes. Yeah, the visuals, that's the other thing that I really liked about this trailer, was the visuals look so sharp, so good. Daniel Benavides writes, Avengers Assemble. Yeah, that's one of the big questions, right? Will we finally hear Captain America yell out Avengers Assemble? Or are they going to hold that one off until Avengers 4? Jump into the comment section. Let me know, you guys. Do you think we're going to hear Avengers Assemble in this movie? Or do you think they're going to hold it off even more and wait until Avengers 4 to do that? Let's see. Dim-Sum05 writes, Thanos only has 2 stones in Wakanda versus Cap. Yep, at least that we can see. Maybe there's another one. Maybe it's a little bit of a different design. Who knows? But yeah, as I pointed out watching it, just 2 stones so far. So the question of, will Thanos get all the stones in this movie? I think probably not. I'm thinking he doesn't. Let's see. Who's next here? Zombotron5678 writes, Hey, John, I got Cinemia like you requested, but I can't seem to pre-order tickets for Infinity War, but I can pre-order other movies. Is it a glitch? I didn't contact them, but nothing yet. Any help? Strange, because I used my Cinemia to pre-order some tickets and I got it no problem. Maybe it's something, you might be a little bit of a technical glitch on your side. Maybe the wrong card number went in. double check it, because all I can tell you is, like, I'm not a technical expert with Cinemia. They are not one of my sponsors or anything like that, so I don't have insider information on them. All I know is that I bought a number of sets of tickets for opening night and for others, and I used my Cinemia to get them, and to get one set of them, and I had no problems with it. So look into it, see what we can find out. I wish I had better answer for you right now, but all I can tell you is that it worked for me. Double check all your information to make sure you inputted it all correctly. All right, Stephen Rowley writes, Dominic West is a boss. No kidding. I love Dominic West. I loved him. I remember I told this story, but I got together with Dominic West in Arizona for a press junket for some other movie. And you'd think if I was going to sit down with Dominic West, I would want to geek out with him about The Wire, like one of the most celebrated TV shows of all time. And he was the lead guy in The Wire playing McNulty. But I didn't geek out with him about that. I geeked out with him over Johnny English, because he was a villain in one of the Johnny English movies. And that's what I geeked out with him about. And I think he was like shocked that I wanted to talk to him about Johnny English. But yeah, he is a boss, and he was really great to talk to. Super nice guy. And I like his character quite a bit in the new Tomb Raider film. Sujith writes, excited about the new Gods movie now. DuVernay looks like a perfect fit to bring them to screen. Let's see what tone they adapt for this one. Ava can get the Jack Kirby visual style on screen, in my opinion. Yeah, I think she'll do a fine job with it. Look, I'm not going to lie, I didn't like Wrinkle in Time. But I remember, and I've never read the book, but I heard so many people before that movie came out saying, how are you going to do this? Because this book is basically unfilmable. Like, how do you do this? And it looked like an unfilmable story. I don't know what she just, all I know is this. Selma was a ridiculously tough, deep movie to make, and she made a brilliant film with Selma. And that, like, she got character and narrative and everything. If she can bring that to New Gods, I think New Gods is going to be just fine, whether it's in or out of the DCEU. All right, next one comes to us from Alexander Helmer, who writes, Thanos looks amazing. Love how they showed his backstory, which shows his humanity, motivations. Black Order guy torturing Strange also looks cool. I don't know if I got a sense of his humanity. Like, did he just take Gamora as a trophy? Or did he honestly feel a sense of compassion for the last survivor? Did he feel a sense of compassion for her? That would be really interesting. If they give that extra dimension to Thanos, that, hey, he's not pure evil. I mean, he's evil. But there is a part of him too that has the capacity. Does he actually love his daughters? I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. It raises a whole bunch of possibilities for where they may be going with this that I find stupid fascinating. All right. Music Tack Reviews writes, John, did you watch last night's episode of Gotham? Have not watched it yet. Nope, I was a little bit busy last night, but I got it queued up on Hulu. I will watch it probably sometime today, but I haven't seen it yet. But I will get around to it. Act Naturally Productions writes, do you think Thanks is even going to get... Oh, you probably mean Thanos. Do you think Thanos is even going to get the Infinity Stones? From the look of it, he will only get 2. I'm going to guess he's going to have 3. My guess right now is by the end of Infinity War, he's going to have 3. We'll see. But seeing that and seeing him in that big Wakandan fight, and that looks like it's probably in the 3rd act of the film, and at that point he's only got 2. I've got to guess at this point that he's not going to get all of them by the end of the film. All right, we got just a couple of minutes left here, guys. And listen, guys, if you've sent in a question and I don't get around to it before the end of the show, don't worry. I'm going to make a supplemental companion video to put up in a couple of hours. And your question, I will take all the questions that don't get asked here live right now, and I will address them in another video that will go up in an hour or two. So don't worry, your question will get answered one way or the other. Murray for us is asking what I'm asking. Where's Ant-Man? They are still keeping Ant-Man and Hawkeye hidden. They're still hiding both of them. And I'm like, what do you got going on that I'm sure them hiding Ant-Man, because we know he's in the film. I think one of the reasons they're hiding Ant-Man right now is because of something that has to do with Ant-Man and the Wasp that's going to come out in a few months, right? So that might have something to do with it. We've already heard that Hawkeye's going to have kind of his own mission in it. So why are they hiding them? I do not know. I still believe we're going to get one more trailer. I believe we're going to, and we may not, I might be totally wrong about that. Nobody's told me this. I'm just guessing. I think we're going to get one more trailer. And maybe then we'll see what's going on with Ant-Man and Hawkeye. All right. Suave Sitoportu writes, I'm terrible with trying to read names, dudes. Thoughts on Cap versus Thanos? Cap dies? Nah, Cap doesn't die. Cap does not die. We already know he's in Avengers 4, so he ain't going to die here. Unless they do some weird time traveling thing. But no, I don't think he dies here. I mean, Thanos looks concerned. I don't know why. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm geeking out about it. But I don't think he dies in this movie. I don't think. I could be wrong. Sure, I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Next one comes us from Chris Ford, who writes, I only see an AMC in New York selling marathon tickets. Do you think there will be more? Yeah. It'll certainly not be in every AMC theater. Whenever they've done these marathons, they've never done them in every AMC theater, only select AMC theaters. I'm sure they'll have a list online about it. I'm pretty sure they're doing it here in Burbank as well. So it's going to be in other theaters as well, but it may not even be in your town. But double check the website in a day or two. Maybe even today, they should put up the information and see if you can track down which cities you'll be playing in, but it certainly won't be in every single theater. Let's see. Tinosvaldo writes, looking forward to Peter Quill / Tony back and forth. I know, right? We just got a taste of it. It reminds me a little bit of Chris Pratt's line in the Lego movie when it says, okay, I got it, but let's go over it one more time because I wasn't listening. I mean, it just reminds me of that line a little bit, but okay, it's a really good plan, but it's really bad or it sucks or whatever he says. I think I should come up with a plan. So Star-Lord, they capture that perfectly. And Tony's just like totally bewildered at this dude. I loved it. I thought that scene was great. Okay. Caden Stab writes, Scarlett Johansson told reporters that Infinity War 3 is years after CW. Yes, but I don't know. People sometimes take things that actors say and forget that they're just people and they talk just like people. Like if it happens a while later, it happens years later, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not quite sure how accurate that is or if she even meant it that way. I've heard her say that maybe it happens like a year or 2 years later after that. I'm not going to worry about it till we sit down and watch the movie. But it is possible that it takes place like 2 years later, that maybe Cap and Tony haven't spoken in 2 years. Maybe they've been separated from each other that long. Totally possible. That would explain why Tony's coming up and saying hi to T'Challa like he hasn't seen him in a while. So that's possible too. Let's wait and see how that all works out. All right. Let's see. Lowell sends in a super chat. Thank you, Lowell. So does Act Naturally. Trevor Johnson writes, my theory. Tony is using his booster to catch up on the ship since Peter is on it. Oh, that's possible. That's a good theory. I like that theory. That's a good one because Tony clearly feels a sense of protection of Peter. Maybe he feels like he's a father figure to Peter. That is a very good theory. I had not considered that one, to be honest with you, Trevor. I haven't even thought about that. Or there's something else involved. We'll have to find out and wait and see. All right. Lowell writes in, hey, John, after seeing that flashback, do you think that Thanos and Gamora actually have a close relationship? I don't know. I think maybe at some point they had a close relationship. It's totally possible that at some point in their history, they had a close relationship. That's definitely a possibility. Whether it goes on, obviously Gamora has a huge daddy issues with Thanos now. We learned that in Guardians of the Galaxy. She's got massive daddy issues. Her and Nebula both. But whether at some point they were close, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt that at all. Let's see. Jack121 writes, hey, John, love the shot with Doctor Strange and Ebony Maw. Really struck fear into me, which is what I've been waiting for from Thanos and the Black Order. Yeah, I mean, it looked horrifying. And not just, I mean, it looked horrifying by itself. But remember, what is the most traumatic, awful moment in Doctor Strange's life? Him waking up in that hospital and finding all the pins stuck all through his arms and bodies, realizing it was the end of his life as he knew it. And for them now to torture him with that same type of thing, now it's mental torture on top of physical torture. And it's a terrifying shot. Totally a terrifying shot. Comical Relief Cast writes, Infinity War trailer blew my mind. Cap sent chills. You and me both, man. You and me both. Also, minions for Thanos are called Outriders. Yes, because they were not the Chitauri. Good. Thank you for bringing that up. Let's see. Christian Lomas writes, will Korg, Heimdall, and Valkyrie die? Well, we know Valkyrie doesn't die because we've already heard the stories that Kevin Feige and, why am I freezing on the name of the actress who plays Valkyrie? Anyway, that they've been talking about how they're going to use Valkyrie in the future and even talks about an all-female MCU movie, including Valkyrie and some of the other heroes. So we know she doesn't die, but what happens to them? Great question, because we're not seeing Korg, we're not seeing Heimdall. They were on the ship too. Where are they? Where's all the rest of the Asgardians? Where is everybody? Are they all dead? I mean, I don't know. We're just kind of... Again, the trailer answered some questions and it raised a whole bunch more, which is what a great trailer should do. John, what have you done to make Disney angry? Again, guys, it wasn't Disney. It was YouTube that did it, and I don't know why YouTube did it. Let's see. Samantha Elliott writes, huge shout to whoever recommended Halt and Catch Fire here a couple of days ago. I've already binged the first season. Such rich and complex characters. Thank you. Yeah, and that's one of the great things about our live chat. That's every once in a while people jump in and says, hey, I got a show to recommend or I got a movie to recommend. And then we as fans can go check it out. And because of that recommendation, I've moved Halt and Catch Fire to the top of my binge list. It's now the next show I'm going to start watching. I'm probably going to start watching it today, as a matter of fact. So yes, again, see, your recommendations work. People like Samantha were able to benefit from it. Thanks for sharing that, Samantha. Film Fan Rant writes, is it just me or English is the universal language in the entire galaxy? Yeah, it seems like it, right? In every kind of movie. In the MCU, I mean, the Guardians are aliens except Peter, but everybody speaks English. Just got to accept it. Yeah, you do. I mean, that's just a filmmaking tool. Like, because you don't want to have every language and everybody speaking different language and like half the movie to be subtitled and blah, blah, blah. It's just something they do. They don't just do it the MCU. Like, look at like Hunt for Red October. Like when a movie's taking place in Russia with Russians and yet they're speaking English, right? I mean, so that's just the way they do things. It's, I guess, their way of doing it. I get it. I understand why. Let's see. Comic Relief Cast writes, I think the ship is the circle thing we first saw Spider-Man on in the first trailer that Iron Man is heading towards and is being blown up when we see Spider-Man swinging through the wreckage at the end of the trailer. Oh, I think you're bang on the money there, Comic Relief. I think you are bang on the money. Now, whether or not Iron Man is chasing it because Peter's on it, who knows? It's a great theory that I hadn't even considered before. But I think you're right, the way you're piecing those pieces of the puzzle together, thinking that's all like one collected sequence. And that last shot of Peter swinging through the wreckage, that's probably the conclusion of that sequence. You could be right. I think you are piecing the puzzle pieces together very, very well there. And I wouldn't doubt if you were right at all. Okay, just time for a couple more, guys. Still no Ant-Man. Disappointed. Underrated character. Well, there might be a very good reason they're not showing us Ant-Man. Let's just hold out and wait and see. Samantha Elliott says in Guardians 1, when the Guardians are captured, it is shown they all have universal translator implants. Oh, I mean, I can't even remember now, but you're probably onto something, Samantha. And that goes back to what was mentioned earlier. Paneet Singh writes, what do you say about the Valkyrie, Korg, and Meek, etc. from Asgard ship missing in the Infinity War trailer? We know Hawkeye is on a separate mission. Ant-Man is probably so small that we never see him. Your thoughts? Well, we've already talked about the Valkyrie Korg thing. We've talked about the Ant-Man thing. But it is true. It is possible. We've seen a couple of there are a couple of shots that maybe Ant-Man is actually in. I mean, it's not even joking around. It is possible there's a shot or two in these trailers that Ant-Man is in, and we just don't see him. That's totally possible. Maybe he's there, but he's just, Ant-Man size. It is possible. It's not just a joke. It's possible that could be the case. Okay. Javier Belmer writes, hope Loki trades the Tesseract for Thor's life and just gets backstabbed. Ooh, by the Black Order. Redemption. So excited. Again, this is why I love the live chat. I had not even considered that. I had not even considered that as a possibility. That what if Loki saves Thor's life? That's why Thor got spared and just tossed out the airlock or something. I hadn't thought about that. That would give me chill. Actually, you can't see it but the hair on my arm is now standing up thinking about it. That thought gives me chills. Again, sadly, it goes towards that Loki probably dies in that scene, which is going to break my heart if that happens. But if it's for the story, then so be it. Anhiruda writes, I'm 99% sure that shot of Thor shooting lightning out of his hand is where he has forged his new weapon, and they're just removed it from the trailer, like Thor's eye in the Ragnarok trailer. I don't think so, because he looked angry. He looked real angry. So, you could be onto something there. Totally. Again, that's something I hadn't considered, but he just looks angry. I don't know if that's the shot that it happens in. It seems like they're there and he's really in a lot of anguish and pissed off. So it seems like there's something deeper going on there. Okay, time for two more quick ones here. This one comes to us from Alfonso Brooks, who writes, hey, John, now that we got trailer 2 out of Infinity War, what are the chances our heroes are going to make it out alive? It's looking pretty dire. It is looking dire, except for that one shot of hope of Cap grabbing Thanos' hand and Thanos looking confused. That is the one brief glimpse of hope. I do think it's a chance that a bunch of people, if not all of them, survive, other than Loki. I don't think Loki's making it out of this thing. But there are just, because you don't want the entire trailer just to be grim. You want to have some shots of hope. Spider-Man swinging through the wreckage. Captain America grabbing the hand. You put in brief glimpses of hope as well. That just adds to the trailer overall amidst all the terror and all the dread that's going on at the same time. It's incredible. All right. Next one comes to us from Sam Fisher, who writes, looks like the Guardians split up, and after Thanos' goons come to New York, Iron Man, Spidey, and Doctor Strange follow the ship. That's how they end up in space and meet up with the Guardians, while Banner goes to Wakanda to warn everybody else. Well, we already talked about how Mark Ruffalo discussed that Banner's role, Hulk's role in this film, is really to be the one to go and let everybody know this incredible threat is coming, and we've got to get everybody back together and stand together, or else we are doomed. So Ruffalo has already kind of revealed that. So I agree with that. That's probably why he's in Wakanda. And I think a lot of the pieces, again, the puzzle pieces you're putting together here, Sam, seem to make sense. And they seem to be adding up to that thing that you're talking about. It could be the way it goes. It could be something completely different, like something entirely different. We don't know. But we'll just have to wait and find out. Let's see here. Oh, there's still a whole bunch of questions. But you know what, guys? I have run out of time. Holy crap, there's a lot of questions. I've run out of time here today, but don't worry. For all you guys who have sent in questions after Sam's, don't worry about it. I'm going to make a companion video here. It's going to go up in the next hour or two, maybe about 2 hours from now it'll go up, and I will take all of the questions that you guys have sent in that have not been answered yet, and they'll be in that. But I have just run out of time here for the live show right now. But listen, guys, thank you so much for joining me here today on this installment of the John Campea Show. Don't forget, if you're here, make sure you click the subscribe button, subscribe. And don't forget, this John Campea Show is on every day, Monday through Friday. And we want to have you guys come back and join us for that as well. Guys, make sure you're following me on Twitter, simply at John Campea. And listen, guys, do me a favor. If you enjoy watching my shows, hop on over to www.patreon.com/John Campea, where you'll get all the information about what it means to be a Patreon supporter of mine, how being a Patreon supporter actually keeps this show on the air, and what benefits there are, benefits like the Facebook group, benefits like audio-only versions of the podcast, stuff like that. And then maybe you'll want to become a Patreon supporter too, which would be awesome. All right, guys, that will do it for me for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thanks so much for joining me. My name is John Campea, and until my next video, bye-bye.